Today on this webinar, we're going to look at how you can grow your practice with an Invisalign Digital Smile Day in 3 simple steps. We're going to have a look at what is a digital Invisalign Smile Day, why an Invisalign Digital Smile Day can benefit your clinic, and how to successfully plan, execute, and close on that event. First of all, what is an Invisalign Digital Smile Day? Now, we see Invisalign Digital Smile Days advertised all the time from practice to practice, but the event is more than just an opportunity to be able to offer patients a discount to their treatment, more than just providing patients with a goodie bag. This event, if planned and executed effectively, will ultimately help with your practice growth strategy. It's an opportunity for you to market your practice to consumers and stand out from other practices within your area. It's a great opportunity to widen your opportunity with your patients, both internally and externally, by raising your brand awareness and creating that demand in your clinic. And that can be done by using tools and resources that are readily available at your fingertips, provided by Align Technology, such as the iTero intraoral scanner, which we know is an incredible communication tool and a really great way to educate your patients exactly what's going on within their mouth and how they can safely and effectively achieve those desired results to treatment that they're hoping for. It's also an opportunity for you as a clinic to be able to transform your practice workflow by implementing a digital tool at every stage of the patient journey. Now, this is the one takeaway that I would strongly advise that practices focus on when they're planning their Invisalign Open Day. This will be the opportunity for you to be able to reassure your patients that you've heard what they're trying to achieve. You're reinforcing to them that you're able to deliver on the results that they're hoping for, and then showcasing to them what that final result will look like and how long that's going to take. It's also an opportunity for you to build value to your patients, so price no longer becomes a barrier. So by creating a digital touch point at every part of that patient journey, before they even step into your clinic, before they even hand over any money to your practice, is your first opportunity to create that wow factor and elevate that patient journey. So why an Invisalign Digital Smile Day can benefit your clinic? So for me, an Invisalign Digital Smile Day is more than just a one-day event. For me, it's an opportunity for you to have that focused time and that dedicated day where you can have a look at what best looks like in terms of your Invisalign patient journey. Now, for example, being able to effectively plan and prepare for the events should essentially become your everyday practice. So building that seamless patient journey by, as we've said, introducing a digital touch point at every part of that patient communication. It ultimately will increase Invisalign cases if we effectively plan, communicate with patients using our conversion tools such as the iTero, the Outcome Simulator Pro, and things such as the Align Oral Health Suite. So these tools have been designed to effectively help you increase your patient conversion rate faster. It's also an opportunity for you as a practice to stop using your Invisalign scanner as just an Invisalign impression taking tool. This tool essentially is the only tool that you'll need within your patient consultation. If this tool is used in the way that it's been designed to, which is to educate your patients and communicate with them, you'll essentially be able to halve the amount of time that you're spending on consultations, because you'll be able to educate the patients with the information that's presented in front of them. It's also going to create the opportunity for you to be able to provide patients with that overview of what's going on in their mouth. So recommending teeth straightening becomes an easier conversation because you'll be able to identify the need rather than the want for treatment. So building that Invisalign seamless patient journey. Now, I'm sure most of you have an incredible Invisalign journey already within your clinic, but as we grow as a business, we are always developing and providing practices with resources and tools to help create a more elevated patient experience. So these events are a great opportunity for you to trial out a potential new tool to see if it can impact a part of your patient journey. So starting off with the Invisalign SmileView tool. This tool is a really great tool to be able to create demand within your dental clinic. It's that first opportunity that you can provide patients with a visual example of what teeth straightening can do for them, turning that interest to in a lead and keeping them warm before they come in for that consultation. It's a real opportunity for you to be able to leverage that whole team. So an Invisalign open day requires a lot of planning, a strong team to make sure that you're all aligned on the day of execution, and then a team again to follow up those patients post-event. So that event doesn't just end on that day. So having clear roles and responsibilities will give you the opportunity to make that event more successful and have that whole team approach. It's also a great opportunity for your clinicians to be able to build confidence. So being able to generate demand of patients in one event will be able to give them several patients that they'll be able to treat and focus on, and perhaps maybe using services such as our CAD designers or our treatment planning service that's available for them to be able to help plan those treatments and build their confidence. But ultimately, what we really want to do is to showcase this event within your clinic for you to say to your patients, this is our clinic, we're high end, we've got all of the digital tools available that are going to help create that desired result that you want to achieve. It's also going to help your practices become more efficient, and it's also going to help build a better value around what you're offering within your clinic. So increasing Invisalign cases is exactly what it says. If this event is run effectively, supported by conversion tools, you're going to be able to help create that demand and increase your Invisalign cases. There are several Invisalign conversion tools that do impact patients' conversations on the day of consultations, such as the Align Oral Health Suite and the iTero Outcome Simulator Pro. Both of these tools have been designed to present patients with an idea of what treatment could look like, and also telling a story of how they're going to be able to get to that end result. Invisalign talk about iTero a lot, and that's because we know how powerful this tool can be. Quite often we find in clinics that the iTero is just used as an Invisalign impression taking machine, which obviously is a very expensive use. However, this essentially could be the only tool that you need to use within a consultation. If you understand the features that are built within this scanner and you use them to be able to communicate what's going on within that patient's mouth, you're not only going to become much more efficient within the dental practice, but you're also going to be able to help enhance that patient experience by creating that in-face visualization. So we start off, as we share, using things like the SmileView tool to attract the patients to teeth straightening. Then when they come into the clinic, the second form of in-face visualization is using the iTero intraoral scanner. So we're one step closer to bringing that patient's journey to life. We also know as well that doctors have said that this tool is a really great way to help establish trust and build rapport between the dentist and the patients, because you'll be able to co-diagnose with the patient what's going on in their mouth and identify what their needs are and what their primary wants are. When we run an Invisalign Digital Smile Day, there are several things that we should be aiming for. Now, I ask practices quite often, how many patients are you trying to achieve within this event? And quite often we're told more the merrier. However, more the merrier can make it quite difficult to be able to make that event realistic or also have something to measure against. So we recommend, if you're having a one-day event, that you plan to have 20 patients attending. This will be able to factor in any patients that may not attend. This will also help factor in at least a minimum of a 50% conversion rate. Now, I'm hoping with some of the things that we have a look throughout the next few slides will help increase those numbers further. But as a bare minimum, I would not expect any less than a 50% attendance rate and a 50% conversion rate. So we're now going to have a look at how to prepare for a successful Invisalign Digital Smile Day in 3 simple steps. Now, over the last 7 years of working across Smile Days, Open Days, DSD Booster Days, whichever kind of event, we always find that practices focus on the day and don't provide enough time for planning. And planning essentially is the crucial part to make sure that the execution achieves the results that you want. Also, most importantly, is making sure that you've protected time to close those patients off. So not every patient is going to convert on the day, and we know patients need more time to make that decision. So with that in mind, we should be factoring in during our planning stages what that close may look like. So we're going to start off looking at plan. So here are some of my top tips to things that you might want to consider that I've seen over the years when running these events. So the whole practice should have a clear goal as to why you're running this event. So are you running this event potentially to increase your Invisalign cases? Are you running this event to generate revenue to purchase or upgrade a scanner? Are you running this event to improve your workflow or introduce some more digital tools into your patient journey? Or you are running this event because you actually want to raise that brand awareness within your clinic? So every practice should be clear on their why and also how many patients you're planning to achieve in that event. We recommend that you have 6 to 8 weeks minimum of planning time to be able to plan for an Invisalign Digital Smile Day. And as we move through this deck, you'll see why it's important that you have that period of time. When you're planning for this event and you're picking your date, we strongly recommend avoiding things like school holidays and bank holidays because this can affect with people being on holiday and also the attendance rate. One of the most important things for me is the logistics of running an open day. So for me, an Invisalign open day should be a day that is only open to patients that are attending this event. We want patients to walk into that clinic and have that wow factor. We want them to feel like they're attending an event, and we want them to feel like, if I don't sign up today for this treatment, what am I going to be missing? Now, obviously, we need to make allowances for emergencies, but if you run an Invisalign open day as you would every day in clinic, running other diaries, etc., that patient's not going to have the experience that that event is going to be recommended. So if you can't essentially have the clinic assigned to an open day for the whole day, perhaps maybe you'd want to do an evening event or perhaps maybe a Saturday. If you're going to be offering an event offer, then make sure that that event is very clear. We also want to be able to patients to make sure that they feel that if I don't sign up during this period, what am I going to be missing out on? So at every touch point that you have with the patient leading up to the event and the follow-up event, make it really clear how long that offer is available for. So will it expire on the day of the event? Will it expire a week after the event, or will it expire 2 weeks after the event? This just then makes it easier for you to be able to track how many patients actually converted from that event. And also create patients that FOMO of feeling, actually, there is a need for me to make my decision now. We also want to make sure that you check in with your territory manager or check in as a clinic 2 weeks before the event to make sure that you've achieved your recruitment goals. An Invisalign open day is a huge investment of time from the clinic. So just making sure, if you're not on track, perhaps maybe consider postponing this event and maybe increasing your recruitment time to make sure that you make that event successful. So 6 to 8 weeks in advance, when you're planning for your Invisalign event, you want to make sure that you set your goals. So the first thing that you should be doing is ordering your Invisalign Smile Day Toolkit. The Smile Day Toolkit provides you with a planner. Now, this planner should be the fundamental piece that you use when you're planning, checking in before the event, on the day, so everyone knows what their roles and responsibilities are, and then use as your post follow-up document. This will then just provide you with an overview of what worked really well, what you may continue using in practice every day, and what you might do differently next time. You'll also receive a digital planning guide, which again is a summary of what we're discussing now in a more condensed version, which again will help you plan for your event. You'll also receive a poster that provides you an opportunity to advertise that open day in your waiting room, along with some Invisalign appointment cards and smile evaluation forms. Again, you want to make sure that you set clear objectives so everyone knows why they're running that event. We also want to be able to make sure that we schedule a date. So a date that everyone is clear on and a date that everyone can share with patients. So for example, if your receptionist is answering a call to a new patient coming in, they might want to factor in mentioning that the event is coming up and the offer that's available, and that will also help with recruitment. So everyone being clear when the event is. Also determine who your audience is. So are you going to be targeting external patients, or is this going to be an internal event? Are you going to consider introducing any additional tools to the Invisalign patient journey? Now, when we talk about this, will it be something like the Invisalign SmileView tool? Will it be something like the Align Oral Health Suite? Well, perhaps it maybe be the Invisalign Practice app, which is where you will record your photos for things like the Outcome Simulator Pro or the ClinCheck Smile video. This will also help create better practice efficiency as well. Making sure that you schedule your internal meetings ahead of time. So as we've said, getting that appointment in 2 weeks ahead of time as well to make sure that you're on track and your key stakeholders have carried out their tasks. If any of your practice team identify any training needs, then this is your opportunity to identify, do they need any iTero training, or do they need any Invisalign product knowledge training? And again, reaching out to your territory manager to understand where they can be able to access resources that are available on demand to help them leading up to that event. 6 to 8 weeks in advance, again, when we're planning for that event, we want to have an idea of how we're going to actually achieve the recruitment. So where are you going to advertise? If you're going to use social media, have you downloaded our social media toolkit that's available on the Align Patient Experience website? Have you downloaded our invitation emails? Are you going to have things like the SmileView tool available in your waiting room, or are you going to have this available online? If you're going to use social media, perhaps maybe plan your content in advance and map out a timetable as to when you're going to launch those campaigns. It's a really great idea to have online booking available. So if this is something that your clinic has access to, if patients are looking to book in the evenings and weekends, perhaps maybe if they're working in the day, then giving them an opportunity in that moment to directly book will obviously help again with recruitment. If you have your internal practice management system, you might decide to send out an email to your existing patient base, advertising to them that you have this event coming up, and again, making them aware that Invisalign is a treatment that's available within your clinic. If you're going to be ordering goodie bags, then again, you need to make sure that you're ordering your content in enough time. So if you want anything from Invisalign, anything that is available in terms of a print or our bags are available on the Invisalign web store. We only have available the items that are on the web store, and you do need to allow at least 3 weeks for that order to go through. If you want to create any of your own Invisalign branded merchandise, then that's absolutely fine, but you must use the Invisalign provider logo that can be found on the Patient Experience website and follow the Invisalign brand guidelines document. If you're going to be perhaps maybe sourcing gifts and stuff from external suppliers, again, making sure that you give yourself enough time to do that. If you're going to be offering an event on the day, decide as a business, what does that look like and when does that offer end? And again, decide which digital tools you're going to leverage in terms of recruitment. So again, the Invisalign SmileView tool is a really great tool to do that. Making sure that your practice has the right resources available. So again, talking about training. We have on-demand e-learning modules that your receptionist or your dental nurse or TCO is able to complete in their own time. We also have a recording available which talks through all of the digital tools, how to set them up and how they can be implemented in practice, which again is available on demand on the Align Patient Experience website. Making sure that you have all the resources available and downloaded onto your devices for your consultation. So things like the Invisalign Practice app, do you have a Practice mobile phone or a Practice iPad that the tool can be downloaded onto? And do you have things like Typodonts and examples of the Vivera retainer available within the consultation so patients can touch and feel the aligners? So when we're talking about patient recruitment, the first thing we're going to have a look at print material. So making sure in your waiting room you have some Invisalign literature available. All of this is completely free of cost and available on the Invisalign web store to order. If you want to create your own marketing material, Again, that's absolutely fine. But again, follow the Invisalign brand guideline document, which can also be found on the patient experience website or the Invisalign doctor site. And accessing the logos that you're able to use are available on the patient experience website as well. So we also have a whole suite of Invisalign open day marketing website banners, social media posts. We also have pre-made emails that are available to invite patients to events. And also once they've booked in for the appointment, there's a second email where you can put your Invisalign SmileView link in there as well to encourage patients to be able to take their first step to seeing what they could look like with treatment. The content in these emails are editable and everything is found on the Align Patient Experience website. So again, having a look at how you might recruit for your patients. So again, if you've in a general dental practice, there could be opportunities sitting within your patient base. So perhaps maybe consider scanning every single checkup and hygiene patient that comes into that clinic leading up to the event. This could be an opportunity to not only create a digital record for those patients, give them a digital overview of what's going on within their mouth, but also an opportunity to talk about the benefits of teeth straightening. If you have access to your internal database, obviously following GDPR regulations, there is the invitation email you'll see on screen here that you can send out to your patients, highlighting to them that you have a very exciting offer coming up. Did they know that you offer Invisalign treatment within the clinic and you have very limited spaces available for that event? If you are sending out recall letters to patients during this recruitment period, you might decide to put one of the banners in that digital email to again raise the awareness. And then again, leveraging things like the Invisalign SmileView tool at every opportunity to help generate those leads. One of the most important things for me, and this isn't just on an Invisalign open day, this should become everyday practice, is pre-qualifying our leads. So we want to make sure that every patient that is coming in for a consultation, especially during the Invisalign open day, is likely to say yes on the day. Now, quite often we give them far too much information on the day that they need time to go away and think about it. So it's about delivering that right information at the right time for patients. So when a patient books in for a consultation, you may decide to do this on the day, or you might decide to give them a call before the event. But understand your audience that's coming into your dental clinic. So starting with discovery impressions, trying to understand what your patient's wants and needs are and understanding their dental background. This is really important because if a patient has perio issues or hasn't had a dental checkup in the last couple of years, for example, they might need to have restorative work first, which is absolutely fine. But those patients are unlikely to convert to Invisalign treatment and start on the day if they need to have other dental treatment first. Also understanding whether or not patients potentially have any dental implants or any restorative work or any other questions around their current dental condition. So this will just really help you understand your patient before they come in. We also want to make sure that patients have an idea of cost. So understanding what patients' budgets are is really important to understand whether or not they're the right patient for your clinic. And a really great way to do that is to ask patients how they're going to fund their investment. And this is a great question to have early on because it's an opportunity for you to share with them your payment options. This just enables patients before they come into the consultation, to understand how much they can afford to pay, perhaps maybe spreading that cost monthly, and what their payment options are. This again just makes that conversation easier on the day once they've had their clinical consultation. You may request some photographs of the patient pre-appointment, again, for you to have a better visualization of what's actually coming into your dental consultation. We also want to give them some Invisalign information about the product and the journey before they come in. This can be shared using the Invisalign consultation app, which is found on the Align Patient Experience website, or this may be by sharing an information leaflet on Invisalign, which can be shared digitally, or you may post one out to them before their appointment. Again, at that qualifying question, we want to be able to share with them the promotion for the day and give them an opportunity to answer any questions and answers. So essentially, we want to have 3 touch points with that patient before they have that open day. And this is to make sure that 1, they're going to attend the event, and 2, to hopefully make sure they're going to convert on the day. So we should be having that pre-qualifying call with that patient as early into them as booking in as possible. Once they've booked in, we want to send them a welcome letter confirming their appointment, a summary of the open day event. It would be really useful to attach the Invisalign information leaflet or any practice information you share with them beforehand, so they're able to get some product knowledge up front. You also might want to attach the leaflet to download the My Invisalign app, which is a great way to form good habits early on, because the My Invisalign app will give patients all the information they need ahead of the consultation, but also will be a tool that they'll be able to use before, once they sign up to treatment. And again, this is where you might also leverage the Invisalign SmileView tool. So as you can see, the SmileView tool can fit into many different parts of the patient journey, but the idea is to make sure that they take that before and after picture before they come in for the consultation. So you'll see here, before that patient's even come into your clinic, you provided them with 2 digital resources and they haven't had to spend any money. So using the Invisalign SmileView tool is going to help strengthen that lead, and using things like the My Invisalign app is going to help you engage with that patient and also help build their product knowledge before they come in. We want to send a follow-up to them 48 hours before. If the appointment's been booked for some time, we want to remind them of the appointment. And secondly, sending something 24 hours before in case any emergency comes up and the patient needs to cancel, then we've prompted them to, and you can then offer that appointment to somebody else. So when we're talking about introducing digital tools, there are many different digital tools that are available at each part of that patient journey. But as you'll see here, every part of our Invisalign journey has an in-face visualization. So we're able to tell that story to the patient of what they're wanting to achieve and how we're going to be able to bring that to life. So here is just a quick checklist of some of the things summarizing what we've just discussed and which you might want to review before the event. So we're now going to have a look at execution. So there are a couple of things that we would recommend you to do on the day of the event to make sure that you're prepared and everything goes to plan. So we want the receptionist to make sure that all appointments are confirmed. If there has been any cancellations, have you activated your cancellation list? Is there time to pop a quick post on your social media, letting consumers know that there is appointment available? Making sure that any pre-consultation paperwork has been organised and uploaded onto that patient's file so they're ready to go on the day. If the patient has already used the Invisalign SmileView tool, has that photograph been reviewed? Has that been put into their file? Or if they haven't, is this something that you might ask them to do in the consultation room whilst they're waiting to go through? Making sure that your patient has downloaded the Invisalign Practice app. This is another great thing to get them to do whilst they're waiting. It just keeps their head out of the phone, keeps them engaged with the appointment, and actually gives you a moment to interact with them as well. And most importantly, making sure that the scanner is turned on and it's ready to be used. So when a patient arrives and checks in at reception, again, this will vary from clinic to clinic, but these are some of the things that we recommend that can help enhance that appointment. So as I just mentioned a moment ago, instead of having patients with their head in their mobile phone or sitting there waiting for their appointment, engaging with them with the Invisalign SmileView tool or the My Invisalign app is a really great way to help build that rapport and strengthen that brand knowledge. We know that 25% of patients that use the Invisalign SmileView tool end up accepting treatment. So our preclinical consultation is where, again, will vary from clinic to clinic. This might be an appointment that takes place with a nurse, a treatment coordinator, or it might happen with the dentist. But there are a couple of things that we'd want to do with patients before they have that clinical appointment, which will really help us build rapport. We want to give them an opportunity to review any of those pre-photos or information that may have been shared beforehand. Again, just go over the Invisalign product and patient journey before they go through to their clinical consultation, making sure that they understand and have any questions that you can answer at your ability at this point. Again, just confirming the event promotion, just in case they're unclear, or just reinforcing again the need to sign up during that period. And also create any additional records. So this is where the Invisalign Practice app fits in quite nicely. This is an opportunity for you to be able to take those photos that are needed to help create that customized treatment plan. So explain to your patients, here you're going to take a series of photos and videos, which are going to be used throughout your treatment planning to be able to help bring your smile to life. So the practice app is needed when you're going to be using things like the Outcome Simulator Pro on the iTero, or if you want to at a later date create that ClinCheck Smile video, which will definitely help increase patient conversion. So 98% of doctors that have used the practice app have said that it requires fewer steps than DSLR camera. So already this is a great opportunity for you to trial this out within your open day to see if it will increase your practice efficiency. So then once you've had that rapport building moment with a staff member, you'd then want that patient to go through and have that appointment with the dentist. So this is their clinical appointment. Now the scan may take place in this appointment, or it might take place in the prior appointment. That's entirely up to you as a practice. But this is a really great way to be able to build that overview of what's going on in the patient's mouth. And this is where things like the Align Oral Health Suite is a really great way to be able to tell the patient a story of what's going on within their mouth. So we're now turning this free Invisalign consultation essentially into an educational oral health assessment. So this will just help patients understand the overview of what's going in their mouth, how they're going to be able to achieve those results by reviewing things like the bite, having a look at gum health, tooth wear, etc. So if a patient is wanting to have a multidisciplinary approach to treatment, i.e. bonding, whitening, etc., this will just help you communicate better with patients how you're going to get there and the need for treatment. And 100% of our doctors that use this tool have said it's really helped patients build a better understanding and trust during that diagnosis and treatment recommendations. So once you've had that full oral health assessment, we're then obviously going to talk about the Invisalign specific and teeth straightening approach to that treatment. And this is where you're going to want to be able to use things like the Outcome Simulator, which you can see on screen here, which every scanner has, or some of the newer scanners have the Outcome Simulator Pro, which is where we have that in-face visualization. And this is where the conversion piece is going to happen, because 60% of patients that see that simulation will say yes to starting treatment. So if you're not using a form of simulation within this consultation, this is going to be a game changer. And this is where we highly recommend that you trial this out within your Smile Day to help with conversion. You can also send these simulations to patients afterwards, which will help with their decision-making process as well. So once they've had their clinical consultation, we're then wanting them to go back and spend some time potentially with that same staff member that carried out the initial appointment. This just gives them an opportunity to provide an overview of what was discussed, present the treatment plans and what's next. This also will then give the patient the opportunity to decide if they're going to uptake treatment and move forward to their ClinCheck on the day, or whether or not they need more time. If they don't decide to book in for the next stage today, then as a bare minimum, we would want them to schedule a follow-up within 48 hours so you can stay connected and prevent that patient from leaving your clinic and going to another open day. Here, we should be sharing with patients that you will be emailing over to them their digital records. So things like the scan report, if you're using that, things like the simulation, we want to be able to share that with them. So then when we talk about the close, so this is the most important part for me that doesn't seem to happen quite often in clinics. So what we're wanting to do here, we're wanting patients to be able to feel connected with us, but also still have that time that they might need to be able to think about treatment. As much as we want them to sign up on the day, it is a huge investment for patients and they might need to make those financial decisions with a loved one or a relative. So we want to be able to send them a thank you email 24 hours after that event and provide them with clear instructions to who their points of contacts are, what the next step is, and provide them with copies of their scan, etc. Within 48 hours, you want to be able to provide patients with a feedback survey. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to again understand how your event went and what you can do better next time. Or if a patient isn't going ahead with treatment, then what potentially could have been the reason. Sometimes patients feel better sharing that in an email communication rather than saying that to you verbally. Again, confirming all appointments are scheduled for those patients that went ahead and sending reminders. Now, if patients don't commit to scheduling that follow-up call with you afterwards, then you want to make sure that you have a clear sequence of follow-ups in place. So for example, will you follow them up 3 days later, then a week later, then 2 weeks later, and then after 30 days, close them? Perhaps maybe that close email will be left with an open opportunity for them to be able to contact you at a later date, but perhaps maybe saying, thank you for visiting our Invisalign Open Day. Your promotional offer is valid until said date. Please feel free to reach out to us if you wish to start treatment at any point. So it's an open email so the patient feels like they can come back to you. So when we are debriefing, we want practices to be able to have that meeting together, along perhaps with your territory manager, to understand how that event went. Did you achieve the goals that you wanted to? Was you able to scan every single patient? Was there a benefit in adding some new digital tools to your workflow? So did it help with conversion? Did it help build a better rapport and patients communicate with you? Perhaps maybe consider posting a highlight of that event to your social media to share with patients what these events look like if you plan to run another one in the future. But it's a really great opportunity to bring out your planner again, have a look at what your aim was for that event, and then see what you could be doing better next time or what worked really well this time. So as you can see, we gave you quite a lot of information there, but I would just say for your next event coming up, trying to do one thing differently within this open day that you're not doing in clinic every day now. Make sure you pre-qualify your patients and you provide yourself with enough time to plan for the event. Thank you so much.